Cowboys Nation, I'm going to be honest with you. This defense is driving me absolutely insane. Week after week, it feels like they find new, creative, almost artistic ways to disappoint us. And I'm not even talking about simple mistakes or bad luck anymore. I'm talking about full-on defensive breakdowns that look like reruns from that Mike Nolan nightmare season. You remember that one, right? The one where the Cowboys couldn't stop a running back if he had one leg tied behind his back. Yeah, that's what this is starting to look like all over again. At this point, I don't even know what Matt Eberflus is trying to do. Whatever his plan is, it clearly isn't working. The scheme is a mess, the communication looks off, and half the players don't even seem to buy into what's being asked of them. You can actually see it on the field, the confusion, the hesitation, the missed fits. It's like everyone's reading a different playbook out there. I mean, come on. How many times are we going to watch the same busted coverage, the same failed run fits, the same, oh no, here we go again look on the sidelines? I'm tired. I'm exhausted. And I think a lot of you are right there with me. That 4th and 3rd play call, yeah, the one everyone's been replaying online, was pure chaos. Bland's playing way too soft, but apparently that's what he was told to do. Meanwhile, Kenneth Murray is supposed to cover the flat on the far side and somehow still watch for the slant inside. That's not strategy. That's a setup for failure. You can't ask a linebacker to teleport across the formation. That's not on the players. That's on the coaching staff. It's a design flaw, plain and simple. You don't draw up a play that expects one guy to cover half the field and then act surprised when it blows up in your face. That's coaching malpractice. And don't even get me started on the run defense. You could see it from the first snap. They were just begging to get gashed. They lined up like they wanted the Panthers to run straight at them. The defensive end kicks inside. Nobody's setting the edge. The linebackers are misaligned. And you've got 5 defenders trying to hold down 6 blockers in the box. It's basic football math, and it doesn't add up. You can't win like that. You can't stop anyone like that. Every time the ball was snapped, it was like watching a slow-motion car crash. You know what's about to happen, but you can't look away. It's embarrassing. There's no other word for it. Every single layer of that defense feels broken. Line, linebackers, secondary, all of it. It's not just a bad day at the office. It's a total collapse. And sure, it'd be easy to just point fingers at Eberflus and call it day, but let's be real. This isn't just his fault. The players have to own this too. I haven't seen a single guy on that side of the ball lose his mind on the sideline. Where's the fire? Where's the anger? Where's the pride? You just gave up another long drive, and everyone's walking around like it's practice. Somebody needs to slam a helmet, yell at a teammate, light a spark. Anything. Because right now, it looks like nobody cares. And then we hear the same tired post-game excuses about effort. Man, I don't care about effort. This is professional football. Effort is the bare minimum. That's what you're paid for. Don't tell me everyone's trying hard. Trying hard doesn't stop the run. Trying hard doesn't fix bad coverage calls. Trying hard doesn't make up for another Sunday embarrassment. If the only thing you can say after a loss is, well, at least we tried, then you're already done. This isn't Pee-wee soccer. This is the NFL. Trying is the baseline. You're supposed to perform. Now, we've also got to talk about the front office, because this mess didn't just appear out of thin air. Jerry Jones owns this. He built this roster, he picked this staff, and he's the one who signed off on everything that's happening right now. You can't go on your radio show before the game, making jokes about your defense being scared of the offense, and then go silent after they get run over for 4 quarters. That's not leadership. That's hiding. Either stand up and take the heat or stop talking altogether. Because you can't talk tough before kickoff and then disappear when it's time to face the music. And let's be honest, this whole defensive setup was built around one guy who's not even here anymore. You don't spend months designing a system around a top 5 player, trade him away, and then act shocked when everything falls apart. That's on the organization. You can't tear out the foundation of a house and then complain when the walls collapse. That's not bad luck. That's bad planning. And it's starting to look like the same pattern we've seen for years. Blame the coordinator, blame the players, shuffle a few chairs, pretend it's all fixed, and then repeat it again next season. So here's where we stand. The Cowboys are teetering on the edge. This next game against Washington might decide the season. Because let's be real, if they lose again, it's over. There's no bouncing back from that. You can't drop games to the Bears, the Panthers, and the Commanders and still talk about the playoffs with a straight face. At that point, you're not a contender. You're just another team trying to survive the season without total embarrassment. It's not time to hit the panic button yet, but my hand is hovering over it. Because unless this defense shows a pulse, unless this coaching staff wakes up and adjusts, unless someone in that locker room decides to take ownership, this season is going to spiral out fast. And it's not like the schedule gets any easier after this. You got the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Lions, the Vikings, all teams that can light up a scoreboard. If this defense can't stop the Panthers, what do you think those teams are going to do? And that's what frustrates me the most. It's not just the losing, it's how they're losing. It's the lack of discipline, the lack of identity, the lack of urgency. The Cowboys used to pride themselves on being physical, being dominant, setting the tone. Now they just look soft. And I hate saying that about my team, but that's the truth. Soft coverage, soft tackling, soft mindset. Every week, it's the same story. One good drive followed by 3 bad ones. One big play followed by 5 mistakes. You can't win like that. This team needs a shake-up, something real. Not another speech, not another "we'll fix it this week" promise. Actual change. Because whatever they're doing right now, it's not cutting it. You can only trust the process for so long before you realize the process is broken. In Cowboys Nation, I think we've reached that point. Let's talk about what happens next, because honestly, things can't keep going the way they are. The Cowboys are standing at a crossroads right now. You can feel it in the fan base, you can see it on the field, and you can even sense it in the players' body language. There's frustration, confusion, and a serious lack of direction. The defense looks like it's lost in a fog. And the offense, while showing flashes, isn't consistent enough to drag the team out of this mess on its own. That's not how you win football games. That's how you limp through a season hoping for miracles. Now, there's been a lot of noise about whether the Cowboys should make a move at the trade deadline. I get it. When things are going south, fans want to see action. They want something to shake things up. But here's the problem. What are you even buying for at this point? This defense isn't 1 or 2 players away. It's a system problem, not a depth issue. You could bring in a top pass rusher or a shutdown corner. And sure, that might help a little, but it won't fix the core issue. The foundation is cracked. You can patch it up, but sooner or later, it collapses again. If you're the front office, you have to decide what kind of team you want to be. Are you trying to salvage a season that's already slipping away, or are you willing to admit this version of the Cowboys need a reset? That's not an easy conversation, but pretending everything's fine isn't going to make it true. You can't buy your way out of poor coaching and bad preparation. You fix that from the inside. You fix that by holding people accountable from the top down. And accountability has been missing from this team for far too long. Every year, it's the same story. The Cowboys hype themselves up, talk big about expectations, start strong, then crumble as soon as things get tough. And every single time, we hear the same lines. We'll look at the tape. We'll learn from it. We'll get better. But where's the actual growth? Where's the visible improvement? Saying it isn't the same as showing it. Fans are tired of the talk. We want to see it on the field. That brings me to Brian Schottenheimer and the offense. Let's not pretend that side of the ball is blameless. Because for all the issues on defense, that final drive was brutal. 3 straight plays that looked like they were pulled out of a preseason playbook. Swing passes, screens, flat routes. All while your best playmakers were standing there waiting for the ball. George Pickens was having a monster game. Dak was in rhythm. And yet, instead of trusting what was working, they tried to get cute. That's how you lose football games. You outsmart yourself. I went back and rewatched that sequence, and it's even worse the second time. The design on those plays just didn't make sense. There was no creativity, no adjustment, no urgency. The blocking wasn't there, the spacing was off, and by the time Dak released the ball, the defense already knew what was coming. It felt predictable, almost scripted in the worst way. And that's on coaching. When you have a quarterback playing as well as Dak has lately, you don't tie his hands. You let him make plays. You put the ball in his hands and let your stars go in the game. That's what every great team does. It also highlights a bigger issue with this coaching staff. They don't seem to trust their players. You can see it in the play calling, you can hear it in the press conferences, and you can sense it in the way they manage games. It's almost like they're coaching not to lose instead of coaching to win. Playing scared never works in this league. When you're hesitant, when you play tight, when you're afraid to make mistakes, that's when everything unravels. And right now, that's exactly what's happening to the Cowboys. Meanwhile, the players themselves have to look in the mirror too. Because no matter how bad the play calling gets, no matter how shaky the schemes are, execution still matters. Tackles are being missed, assignments are being blown, energy is fading after every bad drive. And it's not just about talent, it's about pride. The Cowboys have enough talent to compete with anyone. That's not the issue. The issue is heart. The issue is attitude. It's about wanting it more than the guy across from you. That's what makes this so frustrating. You look at teams like the Lions or the Texans, who don't have nearly the same star power, but they fight every single snap. They believe in what they're doing. They play as one unit. The Cowboys? It feels like a bunch of individuals trying to figure it out on their own. There's no cohesion, no leadership, no voice pulling everyone together. Someone in that locker room needs to step up, not just with words, but with action. And before anyone says it, no, the season isn't officially over yet. There's still time to turn things around. But the window is shrinking fast. You've got Washington next, then Denver, Arizona, and after that, the Real gauntlet begins. If you don't clean this up now, it's going to get ugly when you face teams that know how to exploit every weakness you have. The Cowboys have to treat this upcoming game like a playoff matchup because in a lot of ways, that's exactly what it is. Lose this one, and you might as well start thinking about draft season. I know it sounds harsh, but that's the truth. The fans deserve honesty. This team has talent. It has potential, but it lacks accountability, consistency, and direction. And until that changes, we're going to keep seeing the same painful story unfold week after week. The Cowboys can still save their season, but only if they stop pretending everything is fine and start demanding better. From the coaches, from the players, from the front office, from everyone wearing that star. Because right now, the standard in Dallas is slipping, and it's time someone finally called it out. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. The NFL world is buzzing with what could be one of the most surprising moves of the season. Higgins, the star wide receiver long associated with the Cincinnati Bengals, has reportedly split from his longtime team and is rumored to be donning the iconic silver and blue of the Dallas Cowboys. Sources close to the situation describe the shakeup as sudden, catching both Bengals fans and league insiders off guard. While details of the contract remain murky, whispers in locker rooms and social media suggest that Higgins' departure may have been fueled by a mix of on-field frustrations and off-field ambitions. For years, Higgins has been a cornerstone of Cincinnati's aerial attack, his chemistry with the quarterback and ability to stretch defenses making him one of the most feared receivers in the league. Yet, the rumor mill suggests that a clash of visions between Higgins and the Bengals front office could have accelerated the split. Cowboys insiders, meanwhile, are said to be ecstatic at the prospect of adding a weapon of Higgins' caliber to an already formidable offensive roster. Speculation is rampant that Dallas sees him not just as a deep threat, but as a potential game-changer who could redefine their passing strategy. Fans on social media have been buzzing, with hashtags and trending posts igniting debates about how Higgins' presence could alter NFC dynamics. Could this be the final piece Dallas needs to make a legitimate Super Bowl run? Or is this move more about shaking up the league and keeping opponents guessing? Analysts are cautiously optimistic, but stress that the deal, if finalized, must align with salary cap realities and team chemistry. Meanwhile, Bengals supporters are left reeling, mourning the possible loss of a player who has been central to some of the franchise's most electrifying moments. Though nothing is official yet, insiders suggest that a formal announcement could come any day now, sending shockwaves across the NFL landscape. If the rumors hold true, Higgins and Cowboy silver would not just be a headline. It would be a seismic shift, redefining expectations for both teams and the league as a whole. For now, the sports world waits, watches, and debates as one of the season's most tantalizing rumors continues to unfold. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.